Hi, good morning everybody. This is Lynn. Oh, let me turn this on here. Can you hear me? Here we go. I need to turn this on and I'll be right with you here for a second. Technology. I'm not real good at it. Okay, I got a microphone so everybody can hear me better because I'm ready to speak. And I just want to say hello, good morning to everybody. And I don't know if a lot of you are aware of this or not. I did put a post on there the other day about it, but this is the day. This is August 8th, and it is considered one of the most fortunate days of the year. And it's a powerful day, and it's a day to put our intentions out there, knowing that we're fully supported and we have everything within us that we need for that to happen. So I am going to have some fun today. I had a day that happened to me back in 2016 that I considered my most blessed, fortunate day. I mean, it was a huge day for me. And I want to share that with everybody here because some people know it. I actually was talking to somebody last night, and I said something about a diamond, and she said, oh, and I said, well, I told you that story, didn't I, that experience that I had? And she's like, no. I said, oh, I thought I did. So, you know what? This is too good to keep in and not share it with the world. And I've been telling people here and there and, you know, having fun with it and loving the experience and loving everything I've learned from it. But I want to share it with you guys today. So, because it is the most fortunate day of the year. So I'm hoping to be part of that blessing for you guys because I'm telling you what, if this can happen to me, it can happen to every single person on this planet. No lie, no lie. So here it goes. It was in 2016 that I found myself in a situation where I was constantly worrying about money. Always, you know, I did not know where I was going to get my next dollar. And I actually happen to be in kind of that position right now. But you know what? There's a whole difference between then and now, and here's why. So I was laying in bed one night and I couldn't sleep, and things were rolling around in my head, and I love to meditate. That's my favorite thing to do in the whole world. And I just couldn't quiet my mind. So I thought, I'm going to turn on YouTube and put on a meditation and try and get myself out of my head because I know my thoughts are what are really causing me a problem right now. So I turned on YouTube and up popped Abraham Hicks. Now, I was like, wow, Abraham Hicks. I forgot about that. So 20 years ago, let's see if I can get this on again. There we go. So 20 years ago, when I got divorced, I was at a yoga center, and they had on Sunday mornings, they would have a guest speaker that would come and talk about anything that helped raise your level of consciousness. You know, a lot of different speakers and things. And on this Sunday, I was sitting there, and there was a row of like 20 chairs maybe across, and sitting at the other side was this older couple. They were probably like 63, my age now, and I was around 40. And the gentleman stood up and he walked down the row of chairs and he tapped me on the shoulder and he said, excuse me, honey. He said, you know what? I think you might really like this. And he said, this is for you. And he handed it to me. And it was a cassette tape. And when I looked at it, the cassette tape was Abraham, the Law of Attraction. And I said, oh, well, thank you. You know, thank you very much. So I would listen to that when I was in my car. And I liked everything it said, and, you know. And in 2011, I was in a bad car accident, and I actually forgot that I had put the tape like in the top, you know, dashboard thing. And so now the car is gone, tape is gone, Abraham is gone. Totally forgot about it. Never even gave it a thought until this night. So I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to listen to what she says because I remember really liking the tape and listening to it all the time. So when I listened to her, she was talking about, you know, life is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to have a good time and, you know, enjoy it. And, you know, you find yourself worrying. I'm telling you, she was speaking to me. She was like, you're finding, you're going to be worrying about things. And when you worry about things, your vibration drops and your frequency. And, the answer can be right in front of you, but you can't see it because you're so concerned and worried about everything. And it's all about raising your vibration and your frequency. And she said, here's how you do it. You just don't pay attention to things that make you worried. So I thought, well, yeah, how do you do that? So she continued on, and she said the way to do that is focus on anything that makes you feel better. So for me, my grandchildren are what light me up. And especially, not that it's not now, they light me up now. That's where my go-to is, thinking about my grandkids. But even back then, they're brand new, and there were just a couple of them, and it was, new and exciting, and wow, so awesome, having these grandbabies. And so I thought, okay, every time I worry about things, I'm going to think about my grandkids and, get myself out of it. So I started playing with it. And I'll tell you what, it was working. It was like I wasn't worrying anymore. I was feeling better. Things seemed to come easier. Everything was going good. So I decided I was going to go on the internet and see if she was going to be in Chicago, because I thought I would love to see her in person, So I actually got on the internet, looked her up. Sure enough, she was coming to Chicago at the end of September. And now it was probably like March, April, something like that. And I was like, oh my God, September, that's awesome, So I looked at the price, and it's $225. It's like, oh my God, I don't have $225. Like, there's no way. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to get an envelope, start an envelope, and every time I have extra money, I'm going to pop it in there. So I did. And I figured by September, I should have $225 in there. So now we're going to fast forward to, now it's in September, and it's the Wednesday before she's coming on Sunday. And at that time, I'm a Reiki master, and I was actually going to Ingalls Hospital, working at the cancer center there for the people getting infusions and stuff. So I would spend my day off on Wednesday, and I would go and I would do deep relaxation with the people, or meditation, or if they were open to it, I would offer them a Reiki treatment, whatever I felt like they were open to, to help ease their day. So this day I looked out, and I've got a beautiful window out here, that looks out to the grass and the trees and everything, and it was like a most pristine summer day, or fall day actually. The leaves were beautiful, and it was 70 degrees, and there was a breeze in the air, and I was like, oh, I do not want to go sit inside and do this all day long. How selfish is that? And then I remembered Abraham's teachings and what she says about being selfish. And she said, we're accused of teaching you people to be selfish. And she's like, yes, we do. That's what we're teaching you. And what I've done is I've turned that word around. I'm like, okay, not selfish, but self-full. I want to be self-full today. So I said, you know what, I'm not going to go. I'm going to take the whole day for myself. I'm just not going to go. So I didn't go. As soon as I made that decision, my phone rang, and my friend Carol called, and she said, hey, Linda, you want to go have lunch today? And I said, I can't believe you just called me, because you know what? I just made the decision not to go to Ingalls today. I said, yeah, let's go have lunch. So sure enough, we went and had lunch, had a nice lunch, and after lunch, Carol said, oh my gosh, it's beautiful out. Why don't we go for a walk in the woods? There's a beautiful path out here, So I said, okay. So she drove her car over, I drove my car over, and we're walking on this path, and there's leaves on the ground, 4 inches of leaves. We're kicking through the leaves, and as we're walking, I'm talking to her about Abraham, and I'm teaching her some of the things that Abraham says, about your frequency and your vibration, and it's kind of like a radio station, you could be listening to 103.5, right? Does that mean that there's not music playing on 99.6? Yeah, there is, but if you're not listening to that station, you're not hearing that music. So it's all in how you're tuned in, where you're tuned in, where's your vibration. So if you have a high frequency and your vibration is high, all the answers are right there. everything that we could ever ask for has already been given to us, and all we have to do is raise our frequency and our vibration, right? I said, Carol, I said, the minute you start worrying about stuff, I said, your vibration drops. I said, and the answer could be right here, right smack in front of your face, but you can't see it because the vibration's now dropped, and you're worried about everything. You can't even see the answer that's right there. And as I said that, I was like, wait a minute. So I stopped, I turned around, and I walked back like 3 steps. I started like pushing the leaves aside, and Carol's like, well, what are you doing? I said, I saw something, and I picked it up. And she's like, what is it? I said, it's an earring. So I'm scraping the dirt off this earring as we're walking, and you know, and I had said to her, well, back to what I was telling you, you know, and I said, oh my gosh, the light hit the earring, and I looked at it and I said, gosh, I know a diamond when I see one. I would swear that this is a diamond, right? And Carol says, let me see it. So I go like this, I point it to her, right? So here, you know, she goes, oh, it's got to be a CZ. And I said, well, you know what, Carol? I go, let's pretend this is a diamond. I go, if this was really a diamond, I said, this would be an exact demonstration of what I'm teaching you. And she's like, yeah, you know, okay. So we get in our cars. She gets in her car. I get in my car. I've got this diamond still in my hand, and I go to roll my window down, and I start to toss the diamond out the window. And as I go to toss it, this little voice in my head says, somebody's going to find a diamond. So I was like, meow, and I dropped it in my cup holder, right? So we leave, and I'm thinking to myself, gosh, I have the whole day. Like, usually I'm there at the cancer center for the entire day. Now I have nothing to do. I might as well take a ride over to Mary Lou's Jewelers and have her look at it and just see if it's a diamond or not. I have nothing else to do. So I drive over to the jewelers. I'm telling the people when I walk in, you know, about what happened and how I was walking, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, you know what? We know. People come in here all the time with things like that, and, you know, it's never anything. I said, yeah, I know, but, you know, here's the thing. I said, when I went to toss it out the window, this little voice said, someone's going to find a diamond. So I thought, why not just go get it looked at? What have I got to lose, right? So the girl says, okay, no problem. She said, let me go clean it up. I'll be right back. So she comes back, and she has a thing that looks like a pen, and she goes to touch it, and it buzzes, and every head in the store turns and looks. And I said, what does that mean? She said, it means it's a diamond. And I said, really? She said, yeah, it is. I said, wow, okay. So now Mary Lou comes out from the back, who owns the store, and she says, hi, Lynn. I know her from the past, and she's like, hi, Lynn, what's going on? I said, well, you know, I found this diamond, I guess. And she said, well, let me take a look at it. She's looking at it, and she goes, you know, I think it's between 2 and 3, but, you know, let me go and really clean it up and really look at it, and I'll give you a better answer. I said, okay. So she comes back maybe 15 minutes later, and she's got this little cloth bag in her hand, and she goes, honey, you know what? Put this in a really safe place, she said, because I was wrong. This is not between 2 and 3. She said, this is a $9,000 diamond. And I was like, what? $9,000 diamond? When she said 2 or 3, I'm thinking 2 or 3 what? I didn't know what she was talking about. But $9,000? And she goes, yeah, you know, that's retail, but yeah, this is a $9,000 diamond. This is a very, she goes, you know what, in a set of earrings,